Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by the National Luxury Realtor channel. I am so excited that you're here today. I'm going to talk about this really powerful tool. I know you might have seen one of our previous videos when we were doing searches of properties in Chicago, and I can't tell you enough how much I love this tool. So this tool is actually brought to us by eXp Realty, and it's actually a tool that you can use. Yes, you can use it. It's free. In the description below, you're going to have access to a link, and that link is going to launch this tool and allow you to do searches. This particular one is going to allow you to do searches in a place called King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. And then you can go ahead and set parameters and take a look at the different things that are there. We're going to go through all of that today in our video. But I wanted to tell you, this tool excites me because in a time not too distant ago, if somebody was relocating, say, from Chicago to Pennsylvania, they would have to take trips into Pennsylvania, drive around, meet with a bunch of realtors, get to know them, see if, which one kind of worked better with them. And then they would give that realtor some parameters that they wanted to be part of the search for their home, where the area they wanted to be in, how many bedrooms, how many baths, all that good stuff. And then that realtor would conduct searches on their local multi-listing system, or MLS, and they would email those listings to you, and you would be looking at those listings from your home in Chicago and kind of hoping to find a home that you wanted, right? That's one way of doing it, which is probably the most effective way, not too long ago. The other thing that people were doing when they were relocating is they would go to popular sites like Zillow. Now, sites like Zillow are kind of interesting because their main purpose is to generate leads that are actually sold, right, to realtors across the country. And part of the issues that I have with Zillow is that there's been times when I'm looking for homes in Zillow and I see a home that I like and I call a realtor and I'm asking them to take a look at this home that I'm interested in buying. And then they come back to me and they said, sorry, buddy, the house already sold. It sold about 2 months ago. So the data in Zillow, a lot of times, is not up to date, right? It's a little bit behind. The other issue that I have with Zillow is that any homeowner can actually pay a fee and access their home's profile, and they can update things about their home. Like they can say things like, I just put on a new roof to see how much the property value changes, or I just put in a new kitchen. I did a full kitchen remodel. And then what happens is this changes the value of the property in the home. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. If you update your kitchen and you do a full kitchen remodel and you go in there and you update it, well, that's great. But where the problem lies is a lot of times people don't have the same perspective or the same point of view as far as time. One person might say, I just recently remodeled my kitchen, but recently to them might be 7, 10 years ago. Whereas another person might look at 10 years ago and think that kitchen is fully dated. And that's not a very up-to-date kitchen. So much new looks have come around and so many options for different types of materials that can be used on your kitchen have come around in the last 10 years. A lot of things change, and the perception of time is very different from one person to another. And the way we think about our personal home is usually very different than how the market thinks about the personal home. The market looks at numbers, square footage, dates. It's critical about certain things. With us, we're emotional about certain things. Therefore, we tend to maybe not be exact on the way we describe things as members of Zillow. And so that creates a little bit of a disconnect between perception and reality. And I'm not knocking Zillow, by the way. I think Zillow is a pretty awesome tool, but I love that eXp has created this tool that allows you to create links for searches in specific areas in the country. In our last video, we looked at this tool and created searches in the city of Chicago. And if you're interested in looking at properties in the city of Chicago, I invite you to go to our channel, subscribe, take a look at the other video, and then start using this tool. Again, I want to emphasize that this tool is free. And by the way, if you like these videos and you want to see more of them, please hit the like button and then also subscribe and set yourself up to receive notifications. That way, whenever we introduce a new link for a new area, you will be notified and you'll be able to take a look at properties there. Sometimes it's just nice to see what's happening in the other side of the country, or maybe what's going on in our old neighborhood where we grew up. Whatever it may be, you can use these links to get a good look at what's going on in those housing markets. So let's dive into this tool because it is really exciting to me. So who can use this tool? It's free and anyone can use it. And this tool is actually it's designed to help buyers as well as sellers. If you're a buyer, well, you can search for potential homes that you like on this tool and then plan your move or relocation around this tool. Pretty cool. The other thing that makes this tool a little bit different is that unlike Zillow, this tool is directly tapped into the local multi-listing system for the area that you're searching in. So the listings that you see on the screen right here are actual active listings that are currently active and for sale in this area, King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. Pretty cool. So who can use it? Buyers, for sure. Sellers can also use this tool. If you have a property that's a little bit far from where you currently are residing and you're thinking of selling a property, you can actually start the process right through this tool, okay? And these particular links are set up for specific searches. So this particular interface that we're looking at was set up so that you can look for properties in this area, King of Prussia. But how can you look at other places? Well, you can choose to sign up to use the tool unlimited. And again, this tool is free for you to use. So you can set yourself up with the profile and then you can go ahead and have a full run at this tool. And you can set it up for different locations all across the country. All across the country, you say? Wait, EXP is not an all across the country company. It is actually an international company. What does that mean? That means that you could potentially be looking for properties outside of this country. You can take a look at properties in Hawaii. You can take a look at properties in Alaska. You can take a properties of in any location where EXP operates. How cool is that? Doesn't that just give you a lot of control? Now, I know if you're thinking that I'm relocating from where I'm at to some other destination and you have this, you are actually sitting on the driver's seat of the initial process of finding your home. No longer do you have to wait for a realtor to send you an email with potential listings. No longer do you have to waste time thinking that you found a home in a tool like Zillow, only to find out that that house is no longer for sale because it just sold or because it's pending contracts. This is actual real-time searches, and it's at the fingertips of your hands. So let's take a look at what this tool can do. I can set parameters. For example, right now, I set up a parameter to search for properties that start at 400,000 without a cap. But if I wanted to, I can set it up so that it caps it at 800,000. And then it's going to give me all the listings in that area that are within that price range. I can change my bedrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take a look to see what's on the 2-bedroom side. Perfect. So now I can see listings of 2 bedrooms, 2 bath homes inside this area of King Prussia. We can change how many bathrooms we want. Okay. And it's also got some resources for actual agent work. So there's one thing I want to tell you. This gives you a lot of control and a lot of potential and a lot of options. But I don't want to negate the importance of working with an agent. I'm going to tell you, if you're a buyer, you don't even have, in most markets, you don't even have to pay an agent fee. That's already been taken care of for you. Working with a buying agent is actually free to you. It's a resource that you have. So why wouldn't you leverage it? An agent is going to make sure that you are meeting all of your contractual obligations in the process of purchasing real estate. They're going to make sure that you don't violate any local laws. They're going to make sure that your property is inspected in the way that it's supposed to be. They're going to connect you with resources to help support the transaction. There's a lot that goes into buying real estate, and there's a lot of liability that goes along with it. And remember, buying a home is one of the largest investments that you're ever going to make. So don't go through this crazy process, extensive, critical thing without the help of a professional who does this several times a month. Remember, realtors do this on a daily basis. This is their world. They have taken the time to get the education, to pass the exams that are monitored by the state, by the way. And they have made sure to have a clear understanding and training, and oftentimes even have mentorships by their brokers in helping them make sure that they are literally the go-to person when it comes to knowledge about real estate. They have to take continuing education every year to keep their license valid. And the reason why they do that is because the states want to make sure that they are up to date on all the laws, all the different process changes that might have happened throughout the year. So, in short, you have everything to gain and really nothing to lose. Now, if you're a seller, you might be thinking, well, yes, but if I'm selling real estate, I'm also paying a commission to a realtor. You are. But again, selling real estate can also be a very taxing endeavor. Coordinating, certain requirements, making sure your title company's doing what they're supposed to be doing, making sure that your buying agent is providing the correct information to title, your loan and the buyer's loan information is being, it's going through its due diligence process. Those are all things that your selling agent takes care of. Okay. And there is a cost affiliated with that. But remember, do you want to put your biggest investment through a somewhat cumbersome process that could potentially cost you tens of thousands of dollars if you've done it incorrectly? Probably not. So I always recommend that when you're working in real estate, unless you are a absolutely seasoned investor who has potentially done multiple transactions in the past, if you are first-time buyer, second-time buyer, or you've sold one or two homes in the past, and you've worked with the help of the realtor, don't go branching into trying to do something complicated like this on your own. The liabilities are way too much liability to carry. It's really just not worth it. So I invite you to work with agents. But all of that aside, it is completely up to you and your decision. But that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to encourage you or discourage you to work with an agent. What I'm actually here to do is just simply give you some recommendations and introduce you to this really powerful tool. So with that in mind, let's dive right in. Aside from the fact that you can create a profile in this tool so that you can use it with no limits, you can also request finding an agent right from this tool. If you decide that you're ready to start setting up appointments to go into Pennsylvania and look at properties inside, because let's face it, pictures are awesome. They're amazing, right? But nobody buys real estate based on pictures. We buy real estate based on the feelings that we get when we walk into a home. We buy real estate and we buy homes because we walk in there and we just get excited about the way we feel in the space, how our furniture is going to be there. How is it going to look? Where am I going to decorate? How am I going to decorate? What am I putting in this room? Whoa, all those things come into play. We just don't think about it because we're all in our minds thinking about it. We're not consciously aware of what we're thinking about. We're just thinking about it, right? So moving on, we can find an agent. And by the way, for agents that are out there that are not eXp agents, you have a resource here too. When you look at this tool, you can actually ask to join eXp. If you don't know much about eXp, let me tell you. The agents at eXp have endless resources. EXP has done an amazing job at creating technology that is just powerful. You have endless marketing tools that you can use, and you have an entire world, literally, a world called the EXP world of resources. So if you're an agent looking at this and you want more information, I encourage you to get the facts, click the link, talk to somebody, see if it's something that works and fits well for you to become an EXP agent, and start leveraging the coast-to-coast international world of EXP. Moving on, let's take a look at what this does. First of all, we have a very large map view, and we can zoom in and zoom out. These little tabs that we see, these are actual markings on the map that tells us where certain properties are. So this particular home is $794,900. This one is $500,000. This one is $495,000. And as you can see, when I hover over this tab, the correlating square lights up. And if I want to take a look at any one of those properties, I can just simply go right to the property that I want to look at. I click the square, and there it is. I can see my property. I can look at pictures. I can look at the inside. That looks like common areas in this building. They have a gym. Oh, there we are. Here is the inside of the property. Nice. Very, very, very modern and very, very white looking. Very interesting. It looks like it's got a cool little balcony there. And you can appreciate the inside of the property to see if it's something you can see yourself in. Now, if the property looks like something you're interested in, you can always ask an EXP agent for help, or you can request a tour with EXP. You can flag the property and say that you like it, and flag it so that you can see it later. Okay? And you can also click in the map if you want to get the map view again. In some cases, they even have video tours in here. But if you want to read more about the property, this is everything that a realtor sees when they're looking at the MLS system. So you can actually see what a realtor is looking at. You can also see the property information. All this general information that's in here is actually the information that agents are actually looking at when they're looking at the MLS. The only difference is that this particular tool formulates it in a way that's easier for you to digest. Okay, but as you can see, this gives me my MLS status. This is an active listing. There's no calling my agent and finding out that this home already sold. That is always such a big disappointment when you find something you like and then you go to try to do something about it and you find out that the property's already sold. Well, the other thing that I can see is that this price changed. This price was actually changed a month ago. And I can see that in here. Okay. The other thing that you can see is all the general information. You even have a mortgage calculator. You can change any of these fields if you wanted to do a calculation for yourself. So maybe you're putting 30% down. That's going to change the numbers. If you calculate it, that means that your mortgage payment roughly is going to be about $2,945. Now, it's very important to note this. These are not exact numbers because, as you know, interest rates are going to fluctuate a little bit. Okay, when you talk to your lender, they're going to run your credit, and based on your credit and all that cool stuff that lenders do, they're going to determine an interest rate, and that's going to maybe impact how much that property payment is going to be every month. But this gives you a very general idea of kind of a ballpark figure of what your mortgage payment is going to be. These are just tools that you have to kind of get a general idea. You still need to dig a little bit deeper and kind of work with your lenders very closely, speak to your lenders very closely to make sure that everything lines up correctly. But this tool just kind of gives you so much at your fingertips. You can, as you can see, you can continue to see other other features and information about the property that you're looking at. And then at the very bottom, you're going to see other properties that are similar in nature, so that, you know, in case the one that you're looking at was not quite exact, you can still look at other ones here at the bottom. So super exciting tool. This again is going to be inside of the description of this video. We're going to have a link there. So I invite you to go to these videos, and if you're interested in looking at different markets or analyzing different markets to see what kind of price points they have, I'm going to be posting different links for different areas in the country. So as you keep coming back into the channel, you'll be able to see links for different areas. The last video that I did was for properties in Chicago. This one is for, again, this area, King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. So that link is going to be in the description, and you can go ahead and click that link to access this particular predetermined area search. And if you want to have the full access to this tool, you just simply sign up with this button. Again, this tool is free. This tool is free and it's available to you. And we actually, I am super excited about using this tool. I love looking around to see what other markets are doing. I love to see how people are remodeling their places. And I can see that by looking at some of the homes that are fully remodeled. It's just something that I really enjoy doing. It gives me ideas about my home, and it also gives me ideas sometimes about not wanting to stay in my home and maybe just finding that home that's been remodeled, right? It also gives me a little bit of control, because I like controlling certain things about my life, and I don't like to be dependent on somebody sending me an email. I can just take the actions when I'm at home, kind of bored, don't have really much going on. I love to just sit down in front of my computer and just take a look at things and see how things are happening. So I invite you to use the tool. It's been really great having you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to look at our videos. And if you're enjoying them, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then make sure that you set your notifications so that you can see more of these videos in the future. Thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.